Welcome, everybody. This is the Tanya Hoffman's Fabulous TV Show. And I am Tanya Hoffman, and this is my Fabulous TV Show. And these are my fabulous guests that you are going to love because I only bring on fabulous people that's going to change the way you think through things, business, life, personal development, health issues, you name it, we're going to help you with that today. And I am so excited, no matter if you're listening to this live or on the recording, because we are going to change 2016. Are we ready, ladies? Is like, yay!
Yes. Amen.
So I want to introduce our fabulous guests and let them tell you a little bit about them real quick. I'm Tanya Hoffman. I'm the CEO and founder of the Public Speakers Association, and every one of these lovely ladies are my members on this show, on the association, and you can easily find them to book them for your next conference. If you've got your own show you'd like to have them on, wherever you want them to come and speak, connect with them. So go to Public Speakers with an S association.com. Under speaker search is easy. You just type in their name. It could just even be a couple letters. You'll see their ad pop up and you just click on it and you can get all their contact information, social media links, everything that you need right there. Alrighty, so let's go with Bonita. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and how excited you are for 2016?
Absolutely. Thank you, Tanya. And it's a pleasure to be here, everyone. And so my name is Bonita Lehman. I am here in northern Alberta, Canada. So it's a big snowy day here. We got a lot of snow. But a little bit of background about me. As we were talking before with Dr. Suzanne Cohen, I was a corporate trainer in the dental industry for many years, for about 12 years. And I was helping businesses and professionals to be productive in their dental practices and their dental laboratories. And I realized one day that, you know what, where my real passion is helping people to be productive in their own personal lives. And then through my own personal journey through all of that, I wrote a memoir about part of my experience dealing with a daughter with a chronic illness. The memoir is called Saving Her. And I call myself a dream big coach because I help people live the amazing life. And I just help people realize where they want to go and what might be an obstacle in their way. There's a lot of barriers that can happen that we don't even realize over time exist. So I help people just realize the amazing life that is at their fingertips, and I help them to dream big and just be happy. So that's what I do in a nutshell, and I'm very excited for 2016. 2015 ended off with a really positive swing for me, so I am going to maximize the momentum and carry it through to 2016.
Yay! Awesome. All right, Miss Dr. Suzanne, go ahead.
So, as we had touched on, I'm a dentist by profession, but business has always been my passion. And, I was thinking about this. It's so beautiful. We get to reinvent ourselves. And Bonita, you get to help people do that, right? And that's what I've done. So for up until about 2 years ago, for the last almost 20 years, I was the CEO of a pharmaceutical company, and we marketed a mouthwash called Smart Mouth that provides 12-hour fresh breath. If you've never tried it, it's the best mouthwash ever. You can rinse in the morning, have fresh breath all day, drink coffee for the next 12 hours, and never have to worry about coffee breath. And you can rinse with it at night, wake up in the morning with no morning breath. So you can keep your sweetheart in the morning and not have to worry about bad breath. I'm not involved with the company anymore, but the product is so good that I like to tell people about it. Now I am the CEO and founder of a company called Profitable Simplicity. And I'm helping companies to reinvent themselves from a sales standpoint. Sales can be very time-consuming, arduous process. It can waste a lot of time and money, and I help companies implement a new sales model that helps eliminate all that waste and increases revenue, decreases profits. So it drives profitability, which people happier. They can hire more people. It's just a win-win situation all the way down the line. And, talk about happiness. I finally, at this stage in my life, I found something that makes me happier than anything else I've ever done in my life. And I'd love to be able to provide some opportunities for people to have some freedom, financial freedom, to be able to go and pursue their dreams too.
Awesome. All right, Ms. Patricia, your turn.
Okay, my name is Patricia O'Brien, and I'm a health and wellness advocate. I have spoken to groups and individuals, both adults and children, for many, many years, for as long as I can remember. And I often will have people come and ask me questions about nutrition and health and such. I really am a huge advocate of reducing the toxic load on your body for a number of reasons. Obviously for you to become more healthy, but also just to become more aware of all the toxins that are out there and what it can feel like to have a cleaner body, a cleaner environment, make better choices, voting with your dollar at the grocery store, and even with building materials and environmental exposure and such. And several years ago, I realized that in my studies of many subjects on the development of the brain, that children, of course, all grow up into adults, and so children are an especially important group of people to target for creating good habits at an early age, since their minds are in developmental stages, and what they form habits as at that young age is something they can carry into adulthood. So I, several years ago, published this book, Magic Food for Me. Gets kids to associate fresh fruits and vegetables with vitality, good behavior, and happiness. And so when the main character eats the healthy food, her body lights up and there's all the happy faces going through her system. And then when the other kid is eating the junk food, he's got the pig pen haze around him and there's fights going on in his body. And so it helps children to make that association. And I think it's relevant to speak about this topic right now as far as habits go. I've heard a lot of chatter, of course, since we're at the beginning of 2015 right now, or 2016, that people are talking about resolutions and how I'm not a big person on resolutions just because of what I'm about to explain, but it's important to understand a little bit of the psychology behind it, that people get overwhelmed with, I'm expecting to do whatever I want to do up until the 31st, and then the next day I want to be this way. And so far, we're evolving, we're getting better at being able to make those overnight changes in the world, but so far things don't really work that way. And that's why I wrote the kids book, to get kids programmed when they're small to make habits that will happen over a long haul. And so I just offer that to y'all as you continue to implement your new resolutions, to understand that very small and important piece. Things don't happen overnight. And so you should actually even go into your resolutions knowing that you're going to have a couple of setbacks, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, maybe 3 forward, 2 back, and it's fine. So the reason I'm not into resolutions is because it's always a good time to create a new habit. And with my book for children, as well as the other things that I'm working on and trying to put together here to help people become educated, I speak again to groups about reducing toxic load. And I'll eventually have this website up and going, liveacleanlife.com. You're able to see that. And that will be a resource with all kinds of...
What a great URL.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I got it. That kind of, I had the inspiration come to me several years ago. So I've been developing that site for years, and it's going to be very exciting with blogs and links and all kinds of resources to reduce your toxic load.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Wow. That's what's so exciting. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today is kind of, 2 words that keep resonating with me. So I'm keep coming back to, I need to be using these words. When you hear something in your head and you're like, I really like that. And those are crave more, right? Because I think for a lot of people, I know for myself, I go through bouts of, well, I have enough, I shouldn't want more. You get all this head trash in your head, and you're like, but then I started like, well, why can't I? Why can't I crave more? Why can't I want better relationships, better health, better business, more money? Why not crave those things and not just want it? right? Because wanting it is just kind of a, kind of a stalemate, I think. But to crave it, which I think kind of motivates y'all. What do y'all think about the word crave more?
I like the word. It's good because it almost gets my juices going because I'm thinking of craving something. So it creates this almost a bit of an urgency in that whatever I'm craving or whatever. But it also, and we talked about it the other day, Tanya, is just the fact to be curious. Well, what if I get more of this that I'm craving? What can happen from there on in? But I think often people don't think that they deserve something, and that's where they don't. I don't want that. I don't need, my relationship is good enough. I'm doing okay. My job is fine. So I think a lot of it is we don't think we deserve it. And there's a lot of, I don't want to call it baggage, but there's a lot of history that goes in with that notion that we don't deserve it. So we need to work with ourselves. And like you said, Tanya, say to ourselves, you know what? I do deserve to live the amazing life of my dreams, as I always say, because you know what? This is my only life, my one and only life, and I want to make it amazing. So you have to get that mindset of, I deserve everything that I want. Of course, wanting is within reason, and we don't want to be an ogre about things that we want, because there's a lot of things included in that, which is being grateful and being happiness and giving back to the community and giving back to society. And actually, the more you give, it has been proven, the more you receive. So there you go. That's my 2 bits on craving.
Yay! What do y'all think? Y'all have any ideas on the words?
Yeah, I love that. I've not really heard anybody say that. And it would be a little bit of a transition for me, because the reason that the way that I've always used cravings is sugar. Hi, I'm Suzanne. I'm a sugaraholic, right? So, oh my gosh. So what's interesting to me is that up until just now, I've always had such a negative connotation about the word crave, because I always translated it to sugar, which my body doesn't crave it, but it's not good for me. So I'm totally off sugar. Yay. But I love that word. I love it. When you get to shift something and you shift it from a negative into a positive, and that's a perfect word for me in terms of where I am today. I've done presentations on designing your future, which people can do, and Benita has done that, and she's helped people to do that. But craving something, like you said, Benita, there's an urgency to it, and that's really exciting. I'll tell you something interesting from that perspective. There's are you all hearing an echo?
I keep having to mute Patricia, because her thing always has an echo. So
okay,
sorry
about that. So there is actually, and Benita, I'd be interested to know if you've heard of this. There's a technology about self-motivation and vision, and it actually shows you and teaches you how and why people are motivated, whether it's positive or negative. What causes someone to be apathetic, what causes someone to sabotage themselves. And then what also creates that self-motivation. And when you get to see, that there's an actual technology to it, and it makes sense. And then there are actually some tools. I didn't create it. I just learned it and I've presented it. But it's so incredibly powerful. It goes a step beyond just the affirmations. And, it's something that can actually help you to put the crave into action so that you can realize what it is that you're craving. Anyway.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. How about you, Miss Patricia?
Well, I have, several comments. I didn't realize I was having an echo, so I'll have to get a much better headset next time. But okay, so for crave, I love that concept, and what I would like to say about this is we all have things that are extremely big in our hearts, in our minds, and anything that you have a vision for, believe me, you are fully equipped to do it, and you will find the connections. And from one innovator to the rest of, to the rest of this group of amazing lady innovators, I have great admiration and appreciation and respect for what you're doing because of this point we're talking about right now. When you do, because each humans are all connected and influenced by each other, whether it be positive or negative, when you follow your heart, it's a contagion effect. Others are inspired by that. It could be the person sitting next to you at work or other family members. Now, you're going to have other people that may repel it, but you need to move forward and allow yourself to fulfill the dreams that are in your heart. You have to do it. And it's almost selfish not to, because there's others out there who are waiting for that spark. You could be that spark. You come around and you share what has happened in your life, what things you've made different by your choices and plodding through the difficult moments, is because you allowed that to come into fruition. And it's just absolutely so important to, feelings. You're talking about craving. I really think of something that just wells up inside you and you just want it so bad. You just desire that. It's very, very contagious. And in the what we're talking about is in the good way, craving those good things. And hopefully, the idea is that, especially in my realm, it's craving good, better foods because you know how good it makes your body feel, or getting the rest you need, reducing toxins and things like this. So yes, definitely. I love that.
Yeah, I saw it on the side of a huge catering truck. And it was Crave, right? It was, I guess it's the name of their company. I'm probably plugging them. And I was like, Crave. And I had the exact same response that Suzanne has, like, oh. And I always think of chocolate, right? I'm like, oh, I could crave some chocolate right now. And so I think it has kind of that instinctual desires that's kind of forbidden. And I always think of, wanting more money, wanting more time, that selfishness of I want more time for myself. I want, pretty clothes and pretty jewelry, that craving of something that's a little bit, that we feel like we shouldn't be asking for. And I'm like, well, why not? Why are we so focused on this, this desires that shouldn't be? And I'm like, it shouldn't. We all own it. We all are fabulous. We all have such amazing personalities and we have so much talent. Why shouldn't we have it, and have it all,
True. It's absolutely true. Yeah. And, just going back to the connotation or the notion that comes to our minds when we hear the word crave. So 10 years ago, I totally did a 180. I had an epiphany, like we talked about the other day, Patricia, and I started changing my life. And the foundation of the change was through my health and wellness. I had put on a lot of weight. I was terribly unhappy. And I woke up one morning and literally packed my gym bag, went to the gym and changed everything that I did. I started with a food diary, a fitness diary, and really started to look at what I was doing. So when I changed the food that I eat, and I started to just adopt a clean eating diet, or don't even want to call it a diet, just a clean eating philosophy. And then, how we often talk about, well, if you're good all week, you can have a cheat day. Well, I was good for 30 days. I did not cheat one iota for 30 days. And then I thought, okay, I love chocolate bars. I used to be a chocolate bar a day girl. And I said, okay, I'm going to treat myself to a chocolate bar. And, I ate that chocolate bar and holy cow, Patricia, when you talked about that haze of Pigpen, it impacted my whole personality, how I felt, how I moved, everything. It was shocking for me. So then I went 60 days with no cheating. And then what I started to crave, and this is going back to, Tanya, what you're talking about, I started to crave my healthy food. And to me, I would go home and I'd go, oh my gosh, this tastes so good. And my girls would be looking at me and I'd be eating and an apple cut up, or grapes, or, I'd have this big bowl of cottage cheese after my workout at the gym. Of course, I went a little up with protein and some healthy carbohydrates. And they were like, Mom, are you okay? And then when we would go places and there would be chips or something on the table and they go, well, here, Benita, have some. And if my girls were there, they go, my mom doesn't eat that. No. Her body's a temple or something like that. But they would say, my mom doesn't eat that. And there they were being my ambassadors. And I thought, well, I better be good because they say that I don't eat that. So then they promoted me or they helped me really stay on course. So I was craving really good things. And you can change your mindset to crave positive, healthy, great things in your life. It's well, not easy, but it can be done. Don't even think that it can't be done. Anybody can do it. Absolutely. I've had clients I was working with last year. They're transitioning into 2016, and they have done leaps and bounds in progress in getting what they want. It's been quite amazing.
Well, and I look at, with Suzanne, one of the things that we were talking about the other day when we had, we won't tell you ladies where we went and ate. But we had a great lunch, and we were sitting talking about sales and business. And I remember, it's this word, crave more. And I'm like, we should be craving more for our businesses, because realistically, if we crave the sales, right? If we crave making more sales, that means we're actually helping more people. And for us, and for most people, it really is about creating the momentum for your business to create interactions with people and to increase, this expansion, because we all have incredible products and services that we have, to give people. So I think it is really important to look at sales as a positive, because a lot of people look at it as a negative, and I've never looked at it as a negative. I am getting to help somebody, right, Suzanne?
Yes. Well, one of the things in the program that I have, and I'm looking to shift. Actually, my vision is pretty expansive. I'm looking to shift how people sell in the world, and it's really to such a great degree about honoring people, honoring their time, honoring their needs. So instead of coming from a place where, a salesperson has to try to get someone to do something, we are looking for the fit, right? And it saves a whole lot of time, which translates to saving a lot of money, because if you're looking for the fit, and you only need to give them this much information in order for them to know, hey, this is something that I may, that may be a fit for me, that I may want or need, then great, you can move on to the next step. But if not, a lot of salespeople spend a lot of time talking about something that really is of no importance or interest to this prospective customer who really isn't a good prospective customer. So, there's just so much time wasted. And when you can honor people's time and be concise and consistent, and we have a whole process that's duplicatable, and it allows for more time for enjoyment, right? More productivity, and the fact that I'm so happy in what I'm doing now, I want to translate that to people. And I find so often that people struggle, which is why, Benita, people struggle from a business standpoint, and they need you to help them work their way through and help to get rid of those obstacles. And Patricia, from a health standpoint, if somebody isn't healthy and they don't have that kind of energy, then that's a stop for them. And it's wonderful to have this team of people, including all of us, that can help. And Tanya, I'm so thankful for who you are and what you do, because you bring together all of these amazing people, yes, who have something really special to contribute. And so I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Well, it's really about us looking. Go ahead, Patricia.
Oh, I was just going to say that kind of to expound upon what everybody's been saying, if you go into it, and this was, I'm sure, some coding exercise that was done for me, if you go into it finding out what they want, what is the outcome that you are hoping to provide to this client, find out what is of interest to them, what's that emotional For me, if I'm speaking to a group of adults, I'm telling them, how would it be to have your child not have an argument about getting chips and junk and things like this, and you're equipping them for health, long-term health, being less time at the doctor, less issues with weight or infection, inflammation, all these other things. And you get to that emotional root of what is it that my sale will provide to them, and then it just falls right in line. I mean, once you hit that point of this is wow, well, yeah, I want that, and that's absolutely what I think all of us are. It is about the sale, but that's not the end goal. The end goal is, what is that going to do for them?
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, if we look at family, we look at clients, we are responsible for our own happiness, right? But also we can affect those immediately connected to us. And I see a lot of people spend a lot of time in the negative, and I see people all the time with their children. You go out to a restaurant and stuff, and everyone is sullen. They're in their own space. There's no connectivity. There's no
they're on their
yeah, they're on their phone. But even like for my son and I, there's games that we play together that we're Yahtzee and backgammon. So we're on the phone, but we're laughing the whole time. So you're responsible, for how do you make people feel around you? And a lot of people don't even stop and think about how are they making other people feel. They're like, well, every time I'm around this person, I feel, and I'm like, you're responsible as much as they are. And it's amazing how you can make people smile. It's so easy, really is.
I'm going to just jump in here. As an emotional intelligence expert, what you're talking about there is emotional self-expression. And one of the major reasons for negativity in the workplace is the lack of the employees realizing the impact that they have on others. And for instance, I have a client and she was telling me, she just got a new boss. And I said, well, tell me about the new boss. And what's good about them? I always like to start off with something positive. And she said, you know what, this new boss of mine actually says good morning. And I thought to myself, she had this other boss for 15 years. This person never even said good morning to she's the executive secretary. And I thought, wow, the impact that he had on my client first thing in the morning just brought her down. And so you know what it takes to bring yourself back up? So it's hugely important to understand how you affect those around you with your emotions. If you're having a bad day and everybody knows about it, you're not being very emotionally intelligent, and you can be damaging the community. Actually, you are damaging your work environment and even your personal relationships. I like to quote John C. Maxwell again, everyone communicates, but few connect.
I love that. One of the things that I found when I go to conferences, to a networking group, to anywhere there people are gathering, right? They're all coming in, is I always get there super early and I say hello to everybody that walks in. But what happens is because of that, most people think I'm the one running the event, the networking group, because I'm the one that's smiling and, I'm so excited to meet you. And what's the leader doing? They're off to the side. They're not engaging. And that is not being a leader. And for me, it was very important that I connect with every person and make their day feel great. And when you do something simple like, hi, I'm so excited to meet you. So who are you? When you show engagement, and I think that's a lot of it with sales, right, Suzanne, is you show engagement, that you want to know this person, that this person has value. And I think that has a lot to do with my success,
there's people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that makes such a big difference. And when you look at, everything, in my opinion, is about relationships, and communication is the basis of all relationships. All you have to do is go
Yes.
anywhere where there are other people. And even as I'm walking, I have two little puppy dogs, and as I'm walking them, it's funny. I walk around and I smile. I smile at everybody, and I wave at every car that goes by, because why not? Right? You know, there have been studies that show that when you smile, you're happier, generally speaking. And so, number one, why would I not want to make myself happy? And why wouldn't I want to brighten somebody else's day? You know, just like you said, makes people feel special. They're like, oh, she smiled at me. What would our world be like if everyone smiled at everybody else? You know,
Smiles are contagious.
It would change our world, right?
Yeah. Patricia, do you have something?
Oh, just again, I was just going to say the contagion effect of all of that. You know, if you smile at them, wave at that person and driving along in the car and they're thinking, well, that's nice. Do I know them? And, you know, I don't know. It just lifts them even a little bit. So they might have been in a really crappy mood or just in a neutral mood. And that may happen that they walk into their home 5 minutes down the road and they actually give their spouse a smile, and it just goes from there. You know, it truly is. Yes.
You pay it forward.
Yes. That's what I was thinking. That movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and, you know, when I used to have a retail stores in Houston for 7 years, they were science and nature stores. So we did a lot with kids and birthday parties and, oh, can I tell you stories? But anyways, you know, when people would walk in and you could tell a lot of times, you know, people had things they had to get done. And usually it was, you know, I had to buy this birthday present and I have to get home by a certain time. You know, they have all this. And when you make things easy for people, it's amazing. With a smile, it's amazing how it just opens up and people are grateful. And I think that's a lot of what we don't stop and think about. Every time I connect with somebody online and I ask them, can I help them with something? Or I want them to help me with something, I try to figure out how to make it the easiest possible. That way it gets done, for one thing. And I see a lot of people, it never happens because it's so complicated. You know, they want everyone to do certain steps, and then the steps are like a gazillion of them. And I think that happens with both business, you know, the sales process, with health issues, is that things are complicated. I know with Patricia, do you find that it's a major player if someone in the health industry takes the steps that they need because they overcomplicate what they need to be eating and not? And,
well, I mean, you know. This is so interesting that you're talking about this, because I just had this conversation with someone this morning about the complication of everything. And I speak about that often, no matter what my subject is when I do speak, is, guys, there's so much information out there. You're going to see the headline, this is good, coffee's bad, you know, water, hot water, cold water, you know, all this other stuff. So one of my...
The other day they were saying beer was good. You need to drink beer every day. And
I can humbly say, looking back over, and if I look at my resume, you know, I was in marketing and advertising for a number of years. And one thing that I am good at is taking complicated information and putting it into concise, easy to follow steps. There was a time when... You know, there's a time when I was working at a major media company and they started using FTP upload sites for clients. And this was like 15 years ago. And it was just always, every client would call in and go, I don't understand this and what site it is. And I wrote a 1-page, go to this website, put this username, use this password, click this, it will say this, do this, this, and this. And we posted on the S drive and everybody in the company used it. You know, because it was just like, why are we not having simple steps, people? It just becomes overwhelming.
Yep.
I know. And what's in our head doesn't mean it's simple to somebody else, right? And you're like, oh, yeah, just go here, here, and here, and do this and this, and it's done. And you're like, what?
And also, you know, companies get so used to doing things one way, which you had to have found this, Patricia, right? And when you show them the light, they say, oh my gosh, this is so great. But they could not have come up with it themselves. And the company that profitable simplicity, it's profitable, but it's because of the simplicity that we create.
Yes.
And what's interesting is it almost has to come from the outside. because when you're in the company, you think what you have to sell is so great, and it may be so great, but there's so much that you know that you don't know how to cull it down into a concise, simple communication that's not only consistent, but duplicatable, right? That will make a difference for your customers and even help your salespeople, because they don't know how to necessarily create any communication that's super concise. So what you're saying is what I've devoted my future to. So.
Awesome. And Bonnie, you probably find that with emotional intelligence. It's like people overcomplicate it. You know, I find people that talk about the DISC program, right? And they're like, okay, so if this person is this and this, you know, and they're like trying to complicate what is really simple. You know, what kind of person are you in your base? You know?
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, when you break it down, you know, I use the Reuven-Bar-On model, which has 5 components and 15 subcomponents, but really there's just, you know, 5 sections, and they all kind of overlap into each other. So there's basics of each sort of component. So I break it down to be super simple, and plus there's only certain areas that we focus on at one time. And once you enhance a certain area, we were talking about flexibility in our goal setting, and flexibility helps you in resiliency in life, but that just sort of overlaps on so many of the other components of your life. And the overall outcome of a balanced emotional intelligence is actually happiness, which we've all been talking about happiness, Dan and Patricia and you, Tanya, that when you start to be happy, and I did a blog on, of course, goal setting for 2016, but I said at the end of it all, if you don't change anything except one thing, it is to think about your happiness and start a happiness journal. And I know gratefulness we talk a lot about, but gratefulness and happiness are kissing cousins. And I have a PDF form that I give out. It's a how to start a happiness and grateful journal. And if you don't do anything this year, everyone listening out there in 2016, if you start to embrace gratitude, you will start to change everything in your world.
Love it, love it, love it. And I really look at 26, I don't know, there's something about this year that feels very much like it's just projecting out, right? We're just like moving really quickly. And I think at the end of this year, you know, my goal is always not to recognize myself from the year before. And I think this year is even going to be more expansive than usual. And I'm not sure why it feels that way, but out of all the past years, I'd come wrong, you know, to the next year, like, okay, another year. But this one feels different. And I think it's my attitude. I think it's these words that I'm finding. I've got to challenge myself, and it's hard when you're already motivated and you're, I challenge myself every day anyways, you know, so it's hard to sometimes find those little extra things that make you really go over the top. And I like this word, you know, crave more. I think I'm going to start using it because it'll remind me that I not only should, can, and can implement, and that I deserve it. And I think that's always the hardest part for me, is that deserving, because I don't like being, the word selfish has always been a hot button pusher for me, you know, and I'm like, but there is a percentage that we should be selfish, because it is about having a really awesome life, because we only have one, you know, and we get to enjoy these incredible people. You know, here we are all the way from, you know, Houston, Texas to Edmonton, Canada, right? We go from all extremes around here. So, you know, if we could all kind of band together and help each other, we could do so much, you know, so that's what's so exciting. Now, I really want everybody to know how to get a hold of you. If you have something you would like to give away, or, you know, gift to the listeners, please do that now. Bonita, let's start with you.
Sure. Thank you, Tanya. So again, I did talk about the Happiness and Grateful Journal, and I'll put my email address down in the comment message box. So email me and say, I'm ready for happiness now, and I will send you the PDF copy of my how to make a happiness and gratitude journal. And because I'm an emotional intelligence expert, I also have an online course called Be Successful, Unlock the Keys to Keep the Key to Unlock the Success in Your Life. and it's on Udemy, which is an open learning platform. And I have a free coupon for all of the Blab people, all of you Blab tribers that are listening now or listening in at another time. I will type the URL code for your free access to my online emotional intelligence course. And it's a basic course. It's for everyone. And yeah, those are my gifts to you today.
Yay! How about you, Miss Suzanne, Dr. Suzanne?
Well, you can reach me at Dr. Suzanne Cohn at ProfitableSimplicity.com. It's up there. And if you send me an email, I will email back to you information about my program and what we do, what our company does to help transform a sales program. But within that information, there are a lot of tips because there are things that any company can do that will make their sales program more effective. So if my program isn't for, nothing is, right for everybody, but there are some very specific tips. Simplicity is one, but exactly what does that mean relative to sales? My goal this year is to contribute to companies. And, you had said something, Tanya, about happiness and selfishness. Here's how I view happiness. It's a gift, right? Happiness is a gift to all of us. And the happier we are and the things that we do to make ourselves happy end up being a gift to other people. When someone is unhappy, depressed, feeling badly about themselves, feeling guilty about whatever they may have, it takes up so much time and energy and space in our brain that we don't turn around and give back the same way that we do when we're truly happy. And so I invite everybody to really look at how do you want to design your future? What do you truly crave? And then create a plan for how to get there. And then look at all the good that you can do in the world, based upon that. So.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All righty, Miss Patricia, you're up.
Yes, she kind of took the words, Suzanne, they're right out of my mouth about wanting to remind everybody about the gift that you can be when you are what they, some may say is selfish. When you work on yourself, you are in such a better place to give to others. And when you don't follow your dreams, you're actually helping to squash the dreams of the others around you. Even if you don't speak about it at an energetic level, people are picking up on whether or not you're living the life of your dreams and fulfilling the things that are within your heart. And so I have, as I mentioned before, depending on when you see this, not at the recording, but hopefully very soon, we'll have lots of information on this liveacleanlife.com new website, resources for you to reduce your toxic load and information. Until that time, feel free, please. I will also put this in the chat box, but you can email me directly at patriciaeobrien@yahoo.com. As Suzanne also touched on, not one thing is good for any one person, and in my realm, talking about health and wellness. So it's not that I'm going to give you a diet or I'm going to tell you to definitely put in this or move out that, and this is the latest headline. But I do have some tips also on some things which are good for all human beings to reduce their toxic load, to understand and maintain and create an alkaline environment in your body and such. So I just look forward to sharing those things with you and reach out, and I'd be glad to collaborate. I also wanted at some point to say in here, I don't know how many of y'all have heard this before, I've heard it so much lately, collaboration is the new competition. We're all in this together in the earth, and what we're doing today is very collaborative. What is, I feel, no matter what the headlines are going to tell you, because the media is a little bit skewed towards trying to put fear into you, but I believe there's a lot of very collaborative, wonderful efforts going on around the world right now. So collaboration is the new competition.
I love that.
Exactly. And it's called cooperation.
Yeah.
All righty. I'm going to open it up. And I wanted to remind everyone, go to Public Speakers with an S, Association, all spelled out.com. You can find us all there under the speaker search. We would love to get connected with you and see how we can help you change your world so you can crave more and make things happen for yourself. At the Public Speakers Association, no matter when you're listening to this, we have summits, virtual summits every single month, and we would love to have you on as a presenter so you could go out there and change lives and get your message known. So go to the website, find us out, check us, all the opportunities. We have speaking opportunities, like I just sent out 8 new speaking opportunities. There was a Canadian one, there was a whole bunch of them, the US market, big associations, big corporate conferences, TED Talks. So that was super exciting to see so many starting to roll out. They're booking for the spring and summer of this year already. So you want to jump in on those opportunities. So go check it out at publicspeakersassociation.com. We also would love to have you on my show. This is the Tanya Hoffman's Fabulous TV show. And I am Tanya Hoffman, and I have a lot of fun bringing great fabulous people so that you can start looking at what can you do to change your life today? How can you improve your business? How can you improve your life? And that's so exciting to me, because if we could just change a little bit each day, can you imagine what this world would be like? Because if we change, we affect others around us. So that's really great. So thank you, ladies, for being on today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Yes.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
Bye.
Perfect. All right, everybody. We will see you next time. I'm taking a week off of Blab because I'm going to Florida to this huge show out there that I'm speaking at. So sometimes I just can't be at 10 a.m. in the morning. But I will see you the next week after that. So see you soon.